We finally got another guest on the show.
Oh my goodness!
Special guest, Meghan K.
Meghan K.
I think people will figure out her last name.
I think they know the K.
That's fine. K.
Jack is stalking me, in this office right now.
I think Jack wanted to be on the show even more than you did.
Full disclosure, Jack is a child, Meghan's child, not a weird neighbor. You're listening to Time to Lean, and here's a song, episode 56, with your hosts, Phil and John, and as has been mentioned, special guest, Meghan K.
Yeah, he's waiting for his turn.
Well, we'll line him up.
Well, he might get more downloads than Rowan got when he popped in at one time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Was that Batman pancakes or something?
I like ninjas on my pizza, or Batman
Ninjas
pizza.
on his
Well,
pizza.
he liked Batman too.
Well, welcome, Meghan. Thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
How are you doing?
You've been on before, but it was just mostly, it was kind of like John was over there and he was eating Taco John's and you were eating Taco Bell.
Oh.
Yeah, we had a Taco John's versus Taco Bell feud going on. Actually, there is no feud. Taco John's is far
it's
superior.
settled law.
Yeah, settled law by decades, really.
We sure think so.
Even the Supreme Court couldn't overturn that one.
Nope. Not even Donald Trump's 40 lawsuits could overturn that election.
I like Rudy Giuliani's dripping sideburns. I thought that was a good touch.
Was it ever determined what that was?
Why is he sweating so much, though, is what I want to know.
Yeah.
Is it because he thinks he's going to go to jail if Donald Trump is not reelected? So,
or, everybody says he looks like Nosferatu or whatever, so it's like the daylight's coming for him or something.
He's got to use that spray-on stuff, right, for that to be dripping down?
I guess.
Well, I think he could have used eyeliner or something, or not eyeliner, but like or shoe polish,
hair mascara,
shoe polish or something.
Well, I'm sure that if you work for Trump and you go on TV, you get critiqued on how good your appearance is when he watches you.
Which is ironic.
Well, he had a little bit of a spray-on thing going on too.
He must think his look is good. I just can't come up with any other explanation.
What I want to know is, how are we 4 years into a Trump presidency and we still don't know why he's orange? Like, we don't really know. We have speculation.
The tell-all books have not addressed that satisfactorily.
Somebody might be taking a Crayola to him. I don't know. Can you imagine that job? You'd have to heat it up a little bit and rub the Crayola on. Burnt ember.
So, Meghan, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Don Julio.
Tequila.
Which is not going in a margarita because it's too good to be in a margarita, so I'm just drinking it in my Disney World cup. This is the tequila that my friend Sylvia, who used to go to Vegas with my friends and I, she would always tell us that this was the best tequila. Her family is from Mexico, and they she's a bit of a tequila expert, if I do say so. So she would take us down to one of the bars in Vegas and buy us all a shot of Don Julio. So I bought myself a bottle of this stuff and keep it kind of hidden. And
that's good.
So it's Don Julio. Is it a certain? I don't know tequila at all. So is it a certain age or?
Let me see if I can read it.
Is there good, better, best?
Arejo or anejo? You're gonna slaughter my Spanish, Sean.
Pendejo?
Pantalones? No.
I think it's a blonde tequila or something like that.
Well,
that's cool.
Sylvia
really
can correct us online if she listens to this. She gave me a couple, because I was, usually on here we talk about whiskey, and I did reach out to Sylvia and asked about tequila, because I haven't bought she gave 2 recommendations, and I didn't get them yet, sorry. She was going to send me something, and I'm like, no, you don't have to mail me a tequila, but maybe I should have taken her up on it. But yeah, she's.
That sounds good though.
What do you just drink it straight? Do you put a little salt on the rim or a little lime? Nothing.
No, this is good stuff. You don't need anything.
It's good sipping.
Just drink it.
I think.
Yeah.
I think my college tequila experience was not good.
I think when we were in college, the options for tequila were not good.
No, and then you would drink too much. The
Jose
idea was
Cuervo.
how many shots you could drink. I don't even know what. I think Phillips. No, I don't know what I even drank.
Yeah.
John Phillips
Does
Sousa.
Phillips make a tequila?
I don't know. I can't remember.
It's probably cactus flavored vodka. Or
Well, aren't they all? You know what? Agave. So Meghan is one of John's sisters. I think we can say that publicly. She was in the middle of 5, so she's like a double middle child, kind of.
Yeah.
That-
I had the middle of the middle.
That must have kind of sucked, but maybe not.
she got squeezed.
Get the squeeze.
Elizabeth tries to take the bragging rights of being the middle child because she was the middle girl, but I don't. She says I'm more like a type A oldest child
You're kind of the oldest
personality.
child of the girls.
Of the girls.
Were
but
the boys
I
that
don't
far
really think
removed?
That's right.
Maybe the boys.
But-
Rob and John were in their own world. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
Well, we
And
considered-
coming after Rob. You have to,
We
Well,
considered
okay,
ourselves
he
a
was.
self-contained sibling unit
right.
with special guest
a little bit.
Bruce because he was just so cool.
Right. So I suppose if you were to line me up with firstborn, I would probably be closer to that type of personality, maybe. And I don't know, maybe not. Aren't middle children supposed to be like very diplomatic? That is sort of me. So I tend to like to make peace and please everybody. I'm a pleaser. So
The pleaser.
maybe I am a middle child, a middle of the middle.
So, Phil, what do you have in your glass? Or are you drinking out of the bottle? I don't.
Kind of. Jim Beam Double Oak Twice Barreled today because it was the same price as the Jimbo Black.
Okay.
I don't know why. Is Jim Beam Black going up in price all of a sudden?
I don't
Have
know.
you
I see a
noticed, John?
big variety of price on that one. I mean, one of
No.
the places I go sells it very cheaply, but otherwise, I think it's crept up.
Fine.
I'm sending John a photo of my Don Julio, so
Nice.
he can correct me.
I
on
might
my
put it in the show notes.
pronunciation.
I think Meghan is young enough to multitask with these podcast recordings. This is the first time somebody's sent a photo during a recording.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I am drinking an Irish whiskey called Teeling, Teeling.
Yeah.
It's 46% alcohol, aged in rum casks, I think is what it says. So it's got a little rummy, sweet thing going on. It's a nice Irish whiskey. I don't know Irish whiskey well enough to really put it in context, but it's very good and it's not overpriced. So, and the people I know who are into Irish whiskeys say it's a bargain.
Yes.
That it punches above its weight in quality. So,
So do you
I like
just
it.
drink that neat too, John, or do you have something?
I've had it neat, but I have it on ice right now because
Okay.
I'm a heathen.
Why don't you,
Heathen.
Meghan? Why don't you give us like a elevator speech or of who you is?
A Don Julio? No,
Don Julio I am.
Julio you is, man.
Yo.
Well, that's like Jamaican. How'd that happen?
Terrible.
That was the rum reference.
Who I is?
Sure. Who is you? So you're one of the few people we've had on the show that left South Dakota and came back.
I did. Sometimes I wonder why, especially lately.
Oh.
Because now it's South Dakota,
Oh. Ouch. Ouch.
So yeah, my husband really liked Rapid City in South Dakota. He's from London, so I married a Brit. I left Rapid City, went to St. Olaf College, graduated from there, left the country for about 10 months between college and law school and went and worked in London, which is where I met my husband. And
some Scottish
so,
guy.
yeah. Well, that was before.
Oh,
that was
sorry.
in college. Different time abroad. Yes, I did study at St. Olaf. I studied at the University of Aberdeen,
Oh,
Scotland,
that was before
not Aberdeen, South Dakota. And
Nice.
Hey kids, why don't you study abroad in Aberdeen, South Dakota? Aberdeen, South Dakota has a population of just a little bit over 26,000 people, and it has a geography and climate, and some demographics. The economy's major employers are, hospitals and that kind of thing, and also 3M and Super 8 Worldwide. Wells Fargo has a big... it probably has about 450 people there work there. Also, there's a minor league baseball and bowling and tennis and the storybook land. Study abroad in Aberdeen, South Dakota.
that was where I, studied my cellist boyfriend. Anyway, so went to London, met Bob, and we ended up living in the Twin Cities when we first got married, which is obviously where Phil and John are.
Well,
And,
I got to know you better around that time because our kids were born a day apart. Our oldest.
Yeah. They were supposed to be 6 weeks apart, but
Yeah.
Faith was really late and
April was really early.
April was really early. Yeah. So they ended up 1 day apart, which is so weird. I remember being in the hospital and getting the word that Jody had her baby and being shocked by that. So being shocked that I had finally given birth to my firstborn, they're now seniors in high school, which is crazy.
That is.
And so Bob worked for Travelers Insurance Company, which used to be St. Paul Companies. I think they merged with Travelers at some point. And his boss just said, "Hey, if you want to be a virtual office, you can do that." So we decided to move to South Dakota.
He was telecommuting way before it was like in vogue.
Yeah,
Yeah, really.
he was. So he just traveled a lot, and but we made Rapid City our home base because he really liked it here. And obviously, it's nice when you have small kids to be closer to family that can kind of help you out. And my mom lives here, and Dad lived here, obviously. So
Bob always had some kind of affinity. I think that people in Europe, I'm really going to generalize here, but I've only known two people from Europe that talked about this. But one guy from France, when my dad ran a motel, and another guy named Bob, who you married, from England. But they have this affinity for the Wild West. This these wide open spaces that just is so different than Europe, with everything's kind of really old and cramped in, and hey, it's the West and anything can happen, and oh my goodness. So
I think Bob really wanted to be a cowboy when he was a kid. So there's something very in fact, he tells the story about sitting on his sister's had this fancy dollhouse, and he sat on it to pretend it was a horse and broke it. And instead of getting in trouble, his dad was upset with his sister because the dollhouse had actual glass windows in it, so he ended up getting cut with the windows of the dollhouse. So.
Back in the saddle again.
what was it like growing up in the K house?
Oh, adventures, I would say. Wouldn't you, John?
Oh, always. Yes.
We had a funny family. I'm kind of weird, and I think that comes directly genealogically and otherwise from my siblings and my parents. And my dad was obviously a special person. That sounds really bad.
God. Oh,
He
my
had a
dad
kind
was
of,
special.
He had an off-center sense of humor. We'll just say.
No, he was one of a kind.
Yeah. So our humor sort of centered around, I don't know. Even now, my mother she has me in stitches. She's doing a COVID diary, and so she's writing everything down. And she says it's very
memoir.
boring. But I'm very grateful.
I
to
think
her for doing
she
it, so.
undersells it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's going to be, well, it's going to be amazing for us. I don't know about anybody else if they would ever want to read it, but
It's a
we
lot
had
like this podcast.
Yeah. We went
Although-
up to Sylvan Lake this summer, and we were having a little picnic, and we were getting ready to make the sandwiches, and I went up to the cooler, and my husband said, "You forgot to pack the mustard." And I said, my mom had asked for mustard on her sandwich, so I said, "Mom, I'm sorry, I forgot the mustard." And she said, "This is going in the diary." She just said it with just the face, and I laughed probably for 2.5 hours.
She's very funny too. She's very funny. I think I don't know. Your dad probably got your dad. They both have a great sense of humor, and they're both different kinds of humor. But
There was also a bit of the law of the jungle. John, I'm sure he's already told the story on your podcast about we would get like a box of sweet cereal, which was not allowed in our house very often, and people would find the cereal and pour a bowl of it and put it under their bed for the morning so that you could still have cereal.
Yeah,
No,
it wouldn't last past Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, unless you were one of the first up, you wouldn't get,
Yeah.
As you became a teenager, you learned how to conserve your bowl of cereal.
I had two younger brothers, and whenever the soonest the cereal came into the house, we just ate it. We would just sit there, whether we were hungry or not. We would just eat it. We didn't think of putting a bowl under our beds. Maybe the K's are smarter than my brothers and I were.
You didn't care about having it for breakfast. You were just going to eat it for whatever meal. Well, that's smart too. It's funny. My kids are not interested in cereal. Maybe it's just that it's readily available to them. So they don't. I'm shocked. They hardly ever eat cereal, and when they do, they're just like meh. Like there's just so much more especially now that my two older ones are driving, they can go get whatever they want anytime they want it. Especially since they had jobs this summer, so they can go get
It loses
too much.
that.
The allure
Well, they'll branch
of
out into other
sugar
things
cereal.
like marijuana and the cocaine and.
Sure, cereal
Yeah.
all the way to cocaine.
If it's not gonna excite them, they'll have to find it somewhere else. Probably drugs. Yeah.
I think
We
sugar
used to be
cereal is a
satisfied
gateway.
with sugar cereal.
Sugar
Now they
cereal.
need heroin.
Sugar cereal is a gateway drug
Right.
because you get that little sugar buzz.
Hey, speaking of South Dakota, did you guys hear what our governor is having our local sheriff do?
Oh, our mother told me about this, that they are challenging the weed constitutional amendment
Yeah.
and using taxpayer
So-
dollars to do it.
Yeah, the captain of the highway patrol and the local sheriff in Pennington County, which, by the way, Phil, did you know that western South Dakota, Pennington County, voted more for the weed bill than the rest of the state? Like, we
I'm not
voted
surprised.
59% for that.
There's such a large libertarian contingency there, in my opinion.
Yeah, it
seems
just
like
goes
to me.
to show you, like, how much more conservative our legislatures are than the people of South Dakota. And I
They're
think
more
that comes from-
conservative, right? In that area, in the social
Yeah.
freedom thing, they're
It
not.
comes from I think gerrymandering and one party rule that just rewards the most extreme, and so our legislature is completely out of touch with the rest of the people in the state who don't care about bathroom bills or abortion bills, and they're spending all their time on that stuff. And so now they're suing to get this constitutional amendment annulled by a court.
Well, I read about
And
that.
so apparently the attorney general has to defend it too. So our taxpayer dollars are going to challenge it and defend it.
What was the reasoning? It was like
That's
it was
pretty
like
perverse.
it was.
The reasoning they said was that it was written the wrong way or something. That it can't be.
I have a hard time
Something about the
believing
constitutional
that.
thing.
Because I think the weed legalization game is not new anymore, and the people that advocate for it know how to do this.
Yeah, because they have money on the line, I think,
And,
right?
yeah, there's
They
a lot
wanna
of money.
come in
Let's not kid ourselves. There's a lot of financial incentive here for this, but it's also, I think, that the people that back this, I'm sure they got some input from lawyers who have done this in other states.
Oh, Yeah, I'm sure lawyers were involved too.
I know.
Looked up how to do it right.
And so, Megan, my question is, what is the motivation for this? Is it a political, like kind of like Trump's lawsuit stuff? Like they're just trying to say, well, we have to act like we're going to fight this, or is there budgetary things, like a lot of money is possibly? I mean, I don't want to get all conspiratorial about it, but is it that law enforcement worried about their budgets being impacted by not busting people for weed? I just don't know.
The tax revenue.
I don't know the
override.
answer to that either.
I suspect it's a political thing.
But
I've heard grumblings about Nome wanting to delay hemp, for instance, because she
Right.
had some financial interest in it.
Oh, I
But
didn't
I don't
hear
know
that.
that's true. That's just
Yeah,
I heard she was
suspect it's
anti-hemp.
political, that they feel like they were circumvented
Yep.
because it would never have passed in the legislature and signed by the governor,
Right.
and so, and that's been the case in Minnesota as well. It's been attempted here, but blocked by the Republican half of our legislature. So, I don't know if they'll ever do an amendment here. That maybe they'll do that next time. Now that this worked out there, but
Yeah, could it be on the ballot? I guess I don't know enough about Minnesota.
that's the question. I don't know if they can
One
do
way
that
or
here.
another, it will appear on some goddamn thing here soon.
Well, it was brought up in our last legislative session, and our governor said he would sign it. So, yeah, we'll see. But I wouldn't have bet, if you'd asked me a few years ago, that South Dakota would do this before us.
right.
Well,
Figures.
Yeah.
A few years ago, I might not have, but this year I would have, because Minnesota has this weird kind of puritanical thing, and it's not Governor Nome's
No, it
anti-hemp thing.
It's definitely has spilled over into liquor laws, where until just recently you couldn't buy booze on Sunday and all that stuff, and
That took many years to override that.
it was a huge effort to get that changed.
Many
which
years.
is just nuts.
Yeah, I definitely think Minnesota has a little bit more of that. I don't know if it's a Lutheran, like, teetotaler or...
Yeah, there's something like
yeah.
that we have some weird little areas in our
The
state culture
Scandinavians.
about
I'm
that.
Scandinavian, so I can't say anything, but I'm a liberal Scandinavian.
So one of the topics I wanted to address, and I think I mentioned it on our last episode that we haven't released yet, that, no, I mentioned on the Facebook page, so it's out there, that
No.
a while back when we were ranting about Taco John's every episode, we were talking with at least one or two guests about things that Taco John's used to carry that we liked that have disappeared. And the one I always mention is the enchilada.
I love the
Right.
enchiladas.
And since then,
And cream cheese flautas.
yeah, and that was the
Cream
other
cheese
one,
Oh,
flautas.
which
that was
I don't.
Glenda. Glenda mentioned that one.
So in the meantime, the enchilada has resurfaced.
I don't believe it.
No, I had
That's
one.
fake. No, it's fake news. No, I still don't believe you.
No, I had one too, John, but
Yeah.
here's the thing.
No, go ahead.
Because
I'll go. Yeah, go ahead.
I talked to Mom about this just today as we were eating Taco John's.
This
Because
never
we did
happened.
not get the Taco John's platter because we were eating outside in the park and it was only about 40 degrees. So we're trying to eke out as many outdoor lunches as we can because I'm
Yeah.
not seeing Mom in an indoor setting. We're socially distancing and
Right.
doing outdoor Taco John's. So, but I have had the enchiladas, and here's the
What?
thing. They do have the red sauce, John, but what you have to ask for is for them to not put the queso on it.
Okay.
And then it will be maybe not exactly as you remember, but closer.
So
It's because they put the queso on top of it.
Yeah,
too, so
they
you just
did
have
put
to
a
ask for the
queso.
red sauce.
Oh, come on.
mine did have a red sauce, but yeah, again, it was
Didn't taste the same?
Well, there was so little of it and so much other crap that I couldn't even tell what it was.
What was the other crap?
Oh, lettuce and tomato and
Lettuce?
yeah, it was like
on the
whole-
side, though, right?
You know what? The original canonical Taco
no
John's
vegetables.
enchilada. It was just a corn tortilla with meat in it, covered
And
with
sauce.
cheese and red sauce. That was
No
it.
goddamn vegetables.
Nothing else. And they try and use the frontier term, gussy it up.
No.
with all this extra shit. And
Sextra?
you know what the biggest problem with it was, and you're right about the queso, which is really like nacho cheese out of a can. It's just basically yellow salt cream. But
It's an abomination.
the
Soylent-
problem was
Soylent
is
Orange.
that it was made with a flour tortilla,
What?
and it should.
You got me there. It's
And
that's not good.
corn is what you have to do.
An enchilada needs a corn tortilla.
and otherwise, when it's cooked in with all that liquid stuff, it just becomes a Wonder Bread mush.
God damn it.
So
These-
they everything else I could get, I could get around that, but the tortilla just tanked it.
Where did you get that, though?
I don't
John?
think they don't have corn tortillas on any other part of their
No,
menu,
no,
so
and
I'm
I
sure they just wouldn't.
I suspect this was made from existing spare parts.
Yeah, of course.
that
It's
they-
a Frankenlada.
that, but-
Frankenchilada.
But corn tortillas are so cheap. But yeah, I know they don't want to add ingredients that don't exist anywhere else. But I just thought, well, guys, nice try, but no.
Oh. That's so sad.
Yeah,
But they tried. What are they
so-
going to do with the cream cheese flautas? They're going to have them flour tortillas
They're made
too?
out of reconstituted potato olays or something. Oh, no. So that's our Taco John's update. I will not be having those again, but
So what would you bring back to the menu, John?
well, that was my favorite.
Oh, so they've really
Well-
ruined your life now.
Well, they still had the
No.
things I
Over.
liked the most. They still have
We
the
got
Taco
over it.
Bravo and the Taco Burger and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
We got over it.
I'm still okay, and I still like the basic Taco John's components.
Taco Bravos are good.
They are, and you know
I'm-
what? Taco Bell doesn't have double-decker tacos anymore.
Oh, is that what was that their
That was their
equivalent?
knockoff, and they weren't as good, but at least you kind of got in the ballpark. And I noticed last time I was there, they are not offered any longer.
They also got Taco Bell got rid of their 7-layer burrito. That was like my college
Oh, that was a staple.
go-to when I was a vegetarian. I used to eat those all the time. 7-layer burritos.
But inexplicably, they still have the chili cheese burrito, which is one of my favorites at Taco Bell.
Although I used to order the 7-layer burrito without guacamole, so that would make it a 6-layer.
They ought to just call it the 5.5 layer.
5.5.
I don't know.
Well, so Megan, when were you in Scotland? From when to when?
1995, January till about June, middle of June.
Yeah.
I was just talking about that with our friend Bonnie Petrie because she was
Bonnie P. Sorry.
Bonnie P. She was discussing of the Petrie Dish podcast. She was
doesn't
discussing
mind.
her a town in Alaska where the sun's not going to come up for another 60 days or something. And I said I had enough trouble when I moved to Scotland because I came there directly from St. Olaf College. So I thought this is going to be easy peasy. Scotland has green grass in end of January, and that was the coldest I've ever been in my entire life. Remember, my mom bought me some long underwear.
Is
For
it because
Christmas
it's
that
so
year.
damp?
Yes,
Yeah.
and damp in those
a
buildings.
wet
I mean, the
cold.
university was celebrating 500 years of existence, and
Yeah.
here I am, an American, coming in, and these lecture halls were gigantic, and they would have like one little teeny tiny radiator at the bottom of
It's basically
Right
a
by the
converted
professor.
castle.
yeah.
So you sat by there.
So I didn't. I just wore my coat everywhere I went and my long underwear, which I swore to my mother I would never wear. And then on the days I had to launder it, I would cry because I couldn't wear it.
She knew.
Yeah, so that's how I ended up meeting most of my friends in Scotland was through the orchestra. So I tell a lot of my incoming twinkle parents this story because at the time I wasn't studying music anymore by the time I went to Scotland when I was at St. Olaf. But I took my violin with me anyway because, I had been playing in the St. Olaf Orchestra. So I just figured I would take it there. And they put me in a dorm with, they actually called them flats. They were sort of these residence halls with 6 rooms in them. and then you shared like a laundry area and you shared a kitchen, but you each had your own bedroom, and and a bathroom was communal. But they they put me in a dorm with a bunch of students from Singapore, which was fascinating, but wasn't really going to make me friends because those guys all came over together. They all knew each other already, so they were very welcoming to me and invited me into their Chinese New Year celebrations, and it was interesting. But I almost actually came home because I had trouble getting to know people, and it was dark. The days were short.
Be hard.
It was wet, and I was cold, and so I remember about a month after being there, I said to myself, I'm going to have to change something or I'm going to go home. I just, that would be such a horrible feeling, of like trying this new adventure and then having to give up on it. So put my violin on my back and I went down to the music hall and just wandered in there. And I was like, do you guys have an orchestra? And they said, yeah, we meet at Wednesdays at 4:00. So I show up with my violin, and turns out it wasn't a great orchestra, but that's how I met all the friends that I had. And by the time I left Scotland, I was devastated to leave because I had so much fun with those guys. And people from all over the world in that orchestra, in Germany and Scotland and England. And there were some Norwegians and just a great number of different people I got to know.
That's really nice.
Music.
Yeah.
I guess the thing we can learn from this is if you're going to Scotland, you should probably get more than one pair of long underwear.
Yeah, and bring your violin with you.
I don't play violin, but I will. If I go to Scotland.
Just bring it anyway. You never know what'll happen.
I have a kilt.
Yeah, anything you can do to like party on down. That's the key.
So
I remember that one of the first things I did after I joined this orchestra is we went on tour almost right away. I think I was only playing with them for a couple of weeks, and our tour was going out into the countryside and playing in this pub, and they locked us in. It was like a lock-in because the pub's technically closed at 11.
What?
They locked us in, and then we had a ceilidh where we all got our instruments out and played fiddle tunes, and people danced until 2 or 3 in the morning.
Scary.
It was great.
Oh, no,
that sounds really fun.
Great.
Yeah.
But you were locked in. You couldn't leave.
Well,
What if there was a medical
You
emergency?
can leave. Nobody can come in.
Oh. Exit only.
Right.
So Megan, do you have any questions or comments for us after listening to our previous shows?
Has she?
Oh, that's a good
I've
question.
listened to a lot of them. I wouldn't say all of them.
Well.
It's funny. I don't listen to podcasts as much since my daughter started driving, because instead of driving them places and then driving home by myself, they tend to either go by themselves or we're listening to whatever crap they. So I told them, when you drive, you get to pick the music. That was a big mistake. If you're listening to this right now,
K-pop.
Don't relinquish the control.
Right. Still my car.
You can alternate.
Yeah, you might have to renegotiate that arrangement.
You're a lawyer. You can figure it out.
Right. Just relinquish that whole thing.
That's right.
Questions.
I don't have any.
How do you guys come up with your songs? Do you write them together? Does Phil just write them at the end? Or
Sausage making question.
yeah.
What? A Jamaican question?
Jamaican
Sausage.
sausage.
So basically I send an idea over to Jamaica and they come back. No. Well, basically, I guess we haven't had this. That's a good question. It's a weird thing. So either
You don't say.
It's a funny thing.
based on whatever topic we come up with, or one of the topics, or that, who knows what we'll come up with for this one. But I write the general, like the lyrics and the melody and that kind of thing, and record it. And John adds a bass or two, or maybe three, and that's a song.
And sometimes other guests will collaborate. We might loop you in for this one as well if you want.
If you have GarageBand,
God.
put some violin on
Hey,
it.
you've got a mic
Just don't
and you've
ask
got
me
a
to-
GarageBand. You can totally lay down a track.
My kids,
I'll play the violin. I'm not going to sing.
fine.
Oh, no, you don't have
I
to sing.
refuse.
Usually it's just Phil.
Several fills. No,
I'm happy to
Although
play the
Glenda
violin,
sang
yeah.
on hers.
yeah.
I heard
Eric?
hers. I was wondering if she wrote that song or not. That was, a
that
good
was
one. I
almost
enjoyed
all
that.
her, actually. That was
Yeah.
Yeah,
was
no,
fun.
on that one she did it. I added a few things,
It
and
was
John
quite the
added some
epic.
things, but that was definitely a Glenda song, and I'm fine with that. I like to collaborate, but
You guys, I bought a ring light just so that I could look really good while I was doing this with you guys, and I'm pleased to report that I don't have to use it because we turned our
a
cameras
ring
off.
light. So that makes your face lit correctly on a video call. Is that the?
Yeah, I got it because when I am doing Zoom lessons, people can't see me very well in my studio. It has terrible lighting, and then like in the afternoon, if the sun's coming in the blinds, I like half my face has like lines on it.
Oh yeah.
So I got a microphone and a
wow,
Diva ring light, so I'm gonna be like the best lit Zoom call.
I don't know what
person.
this ring light ring light thing is.
It's exactly what you think it is. It's just like a ring. It's like an LED ring.
On your finger.
And nope, it's just
One
looks
ring
like a
will
ring.
So
rule
do
them
you
all.
put it like behind your laptop screen or something like that, or?
Well, actually, I'm gonna need it to be higher than that, so I got to
Yeah.
figure that out because it's if I light it from directly in front of my face, first of all, it's too bright,
Yeah.
and it also makes my glasses are cheapo, like they don't have that anti-glare.
Sounds like someone needs to talk to Ken M., the husband of Glenda M., and get some professional lighting on these Zoom calls, y'all.
Lit from above somehow, but like
Yeah,
halo.
no
that's
matter
challenging.
what, it's better. Yeah,
Put it behind your head and have like a halo effect.
I could. That'd be cool.
That might not work for seeing your face though.
But I've been teaching in my garage a lot, so I'm trying to get ready for the inevitable weather change that will prevent that from happening.
And soon they'll say, Megan, I can see your breath.
Yeah. One of my parents was like, "Oh, she can handle it. We'll just put on coats." And I said, "The violin is a temperamental thing in the cold. It wouldn't be
Yeah.
good. It goes
Don't
in and
wanna
out of
do that.
tune." Or
What's a twinkle?
a twinkle?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
Suzuki's talk.
Oh, a twinkle is the first thing you learn. A twinkle variation.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Little star is the theme, and then we have variations
Yeah.
on that theme. So you don't actually learn the theme first. That's the last thing you learn in the twinkle variations, because it's easier for little tiny violinists to learn short notes and fast notes than to learn how to draw the bow in a long phrase. So we first learn peanut butter stop stop. So that's exactly what it sounds like. It's just a variation of peanut butter stop stop on each note of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. That's the rhythm.
When did peanut butter stop cease being peanut butter sandwich?
I don't know. When I
a
came
long
back
time
to
ago,
teaching, 'cause
that's what it was. It was peanut butter sandwich.
It was probably
Yeah,
the same time that Taco John stopped having enchiladas.
That's probably right.
No, so what are the notes? Can you sing it?
Peanut butter stop stop. Peanut butter stop stop. Peanut butter stop stop. Peanut butter stop stop.
Why
And
is
John,
it
to
not
answer your
sandwich?
question, I think it's not sandwich because the stop stop gives the kids the staccato.
Yeah, that
rather
is
than
more
wah,
concise.
wah.
Yeah.
So rather than being peanut butter sandwich, peanut butter sandwich, peanut butter stop stop.
Yeah, I don't.
Right?
Nobody else gives a shit about that. But that just,
Peanut butter
when
jelly?
did that happen?
And like we used to play Baby is Sleeping, and now it's downstairs and upstairs.
Oh,
and
the baby is
downstairs.
sleeping got canceled too, huh?
Yeah, well, you
Right.
can. There's different ones, but downstairs tells you which direction your bow is going.
Oh,
right?
see,
So,
okay, that's an
downstairs
iteration. Yeah,
and
okay.
upstairs. See,
Oh, I get it, but why, if it ain't Baroque, don't fix it.
you mean
So-
the theme or the
No.
names?
I don't know.
The names.
I'm conservative when it comes to my Suzuki.
You
So-
are
So what?
old school.
So you went to England for a while. But that was after Scotland.
Yes, I
I
went
don't.
back
I
to
don't
college.
understand.
Finished
So you
my
went.
college.
So you went to Scotland for a while. Then you came back, and then you went to England. I don't get it.
So,
Why
I've
didn't you
actually
just
been-
go to England from Scotland? It was quicker.
well, I had to finish
I
college.
think there was a time period, Phil.
No.
to come back for my senior year at St. Olaf. And then I went, they used to have a program, which doesn't exist anymore apparently, where you could, if you had just graduated from college, you could go work in the UK. I think it was a 6-month visa. I think I extended mine to 8 through finagling, but and the UK students used to be able to do that too. They could come to the United States, but you had to be within a certain number of months of graduating. So I came. I really liked London when I visited there when I was studying in Scotland, but I didn't have a lot of money, so it was hard to really tour London in the right way.
Can't see some shows.
Yeah, so I came back and worked there with this. They called it I forget what it was called. Darn it.
A Dearnit
Scholarship? The Durnit Scholarship. I can't. It wasn't a scholarship. It was a visa. Oh God, I can't remember it. If I remember it, I'll let you guys know what it is. But
fine.
It was an exchange program.
The narrator will tell us.
Wrong.
Yeah. So I did that, and actually I went and worked at the Black Hills Playhouse first when I first graduated from college, and then I went home and stayed with my parents and worked for a while to save up money to do this, and then I went over to London, and actually I knew I was going to go to law school, so I looked up legal temp agencies when I first got there to try to get a temp job to hold me over till I found a permanent job, and there was this law firm called Slaughter and May in London, which is an old school, like really well-known old law firm in London full of very conservative solicitors, not barristers, but solicitors. So I called the temp agency, and they placed me in a temporary position in that law firm, and the girl that I was replacing actually ended up not ever coming back. So I worked there for the entire time I was, and I didn't end up working for any lawyers.
Did you have her
in the
killed?
office services. Oh yeah, definitely.
No, sorry, I interrupted you.
Well, I worked in the office services department, so
yeah,
that was like security, furniture, everything except law. So that's how I met Bob, because he was the security director. Well, here comes Abby. You want to say hi, Abby?
So is your mom like in charge of the calendar, or do you have a Google calendar, or what? How do you figure out your family?
She's in
your
charge
family
of supplies, Phil.
Your family calendar must be nuts. Do you have it on paper?
Did you say something?
Is it a spreadsheet? I scared her off.
Hello.
Hello.
Is this Abby?
Yes.
Who's in charge of the family calendar there? I mean, I don't I don't understand. You're so busy. All these rehearsals and things. How do you figure it out, Abby?
Usually I do, and she has a calendar that she has on the fridge.
Your
That's
mom
old
has
school.
a calendar on the
Yeah.
fridge?
Yeah.
Is there anything in the fridge? What's your favorite food to eat? What do you like to eat?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
No?
Probably fruit.
Fruit?
Okay.
You're a fruitarian?
Sure.
What's your favorite fruit?
Mangoes.
Oh.
Mangoes.
How
Oh,
exotic.
wow. I just got the other day, or just yesterday even, I got these kind of baby bananas. Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-mm.
No, they're like little tiny bananas. I don't know. Some people call them apple bananas because they're so sweet. But no, maybe they don't have those in Rapid.
Probably not.
But mangoes, we didn't have when I was a kid in Rapid City, we didn't have mangoes.
Oh dang.
No. Well, so you just eat mangoes?
Yeah. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
That okay. All right.
High fiber.
Maybe try working in some walnuts or something. Get some nuts in there. It's okay to be a vegetarian or a nutarian or a fruitarian. It's good to have a little fish sometimes. Mm-hmm. So you're like really into, I don't know, my goodness, your dance stuff and your cello, and what else are you into? What's the third thing? Do you have a third thing?
Not
That's
really.
No, that's too much. You can't have a
Yeah.
third
What
thing.
kind of music do you play when you drive your mother around?
Usually she has her phone plugged in.
Oh, so she takes
So-
over. She made it sound like
No,
you and your
she
sister
said you.
commandeered the music.
It's usually Faith playing her like BTS.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I know. My youngest daughter is into that K-pop stuff. But what if you were in charge of the radio? What would you play?
I don't know. I listen to a lot of music except for like country music.
No. When I was growing up, I was like I would never listen to country. But as I've gotten older, there's some country I like.
There's one country I like, the United States of America, home of Sleepy Time Lemonade.
There's some weird kind of Americana stuff that I like. But okay, that's fine. No, maybe later. You don't even like the stuff Elizabeth plays at the Pancake House or whatever that's called?
Well, yeah, but not like the like other stuff.
Country is.
It's
now,
good to
Dolly
rebel
Parton.
against the stuff that's popular where you live. It is. That's why all of us did, because we're like, oh, that's crap.
Oh, I would never listen to country back then. No. I have to say, as I've gotten older, there's some good country. Fine. So with its dance stuff? So what's your specialty with the dance? So is it like I don't know, hip hop, ballet, banjo? No, that's not a dance.
Probably like jazz and tap.
Jazz tap.
Jazz
Yeah.
and tap, like
Jazz and tap.
yeah.
I can't dance, but that's okay. I was in theater. I was in musical theater. I could sing and act, but I couldn't dance.
You guys want to talk to Jack while he's here?
Yeah, sure.
She left
Like,
Phil.
do you
Sorry.
guys want to talk to Jack?
I was getting into a story there that probably was very boring. Jack is on?
Jack, come on on.
Come
Jack,
on
come
down. You're the next
Put
contestant.
these in your ears. Put these in your ear balls.
Earballs.
What is he, a cat? He has hairballs?
Close the door.
No, earballs.
Talking to the microphone.
Jack attack. We're having a Jack attack. I think. Maybe not.
Hello.
Jack.
Hello, Jack. Jack's wanted to be on our podcast for a while, I guess.
Rumor
I don't
has
know
it.
why. Everybody loves to be on our podcast. Jack, I don't know. You're into so many different things. I can't keep up with you. You're into dance and the music things, of course. And
Football.
what else do you like to do? Football.
I love football.
Yeah.
A lot.
Football.
I love basketball. Any sport, really.
Yeah, Jack has rejected the Knowles family antipathy of sports.
No, I was never good at sports.
I don't think
Well,
you have to be
okay,
good
fine.
at sports to be into them.
Yeah.
Well,
No, Jack
Well.
likes his sports.
now there is a connection though, because I remember when I was a kid, in the 70s, these football guys were taking ballet to learn. They get more flexible and that kind of thing. So there's
Oh, yep. I've heard
Yeah,
that as
there-
well.
there's definitely a parallel there. Well, what grade are you in? I don't even know.
I'm in 6th.
Oh, okay,
Sixth.
6th grade.
He's an old man.
Wow.
Yeah.
I barely remember 6th grade. What's your favorite? What's your favorite thing you're doing right now?
I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah. Well, you
Um,
have so many
yeah.
things going on. It's hard to pick a favorite.
Yeah. It's kind of hard as well because we don't do much things on e-learning.
Oh, right. What instrument do you play? Are you involved with what do you play? The violin?
I played the viola.
Viola. Okay.
There's a difference.
Who's the other viola Who's the other viola person? Is that Cullen or?
Cullen plays the
Yeah,
viola.
your cousin
Yeah,
Cullen.
okay. Sure, somebody has to.
No, it's very important. It's no bass, but
Where's the viola fit into the orchestra kind of thing? Is it like a lower violin?
Pretty much. It just has an A string and a D string, and then and then it has one lower note besides G as C, and we don't have an E string, so pretty much we're just a little lower than the violin.
Cool.
well,
No,
anything else you want to talk to us about, Jack?
I'm spacing out a bit. We'll edit that. We'll
not
edit
really.
this a little bit.
Yeah, we'd always do.
But
I'm spacing out a little bit. I'm tired. This is past my bedtime almost. It gets dark really early here.
yeah, same with us. It's pitch black right now, and it's only like what, 7 o'clock, Mom?
Yeah, it's 7:30 here. Almost.
It's like 6:30 right now.
So you're not driving yet? You can't even drive a scooter. Your sisters are driving around town, getting in trouble with the law, and you're like, oh, I can't even drive yet. But pretty soon, right?
Yeah, I can legally, I guess, drive in 2 years, or at least get my learner's permit in 2 years.
Oh my god.
Because in South Dakota, you can get a learner's permit at 14.
No,
Yep.
I was there. I've been driving since I was 14. Sure. I used to live there a long time ago. Fine.
And them Black Hills.
What do you like to eat? What's your
I don't know.
favorite thing that you could eat? Well, if you had anything you could eat right now, what would it be?
And don't say mango.
No, because Abby said mango.
Anything Mexican food. I love Mexican food.
Yeah? Quesadilla?
Yeah.
No? Taco?
Tacos,
Enchilada?
enchiladas. Anything spicy as well.
Oh, you
Spicy
like the
things.
spicy food. Good.
Like jalapenos.
Oh,
wings.
excellent.
Yeah,
See,
I
not
agree.
a lot of kids your age like the spicy food. That's cool.
Yeah, you got to
my
build
youngest-
up that tolerance.
My youngest daughter, Adeline, has gotten more into spicy things, so that's cool. She is 13. What grade is she in? 9th? I don't know. It's hard to tell at my age.
So, Jack, do you prefer fresh jalapenos or the ones that are pickled? Or are you aware of the difference? Maybe you're not.
More pickled.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
really good.
He knows. John kind of steered you to the pickled.
Yeah.
John is a pickled sort of person.
More ways
Weirdly
than
enough,
Jack has been in numerous productions.
one. Yeah, he's a
What's your
theater guy,
favorite-
just like you, Phil.
I know, but what's your favorite play you've been in so far? Do you have one? Ooh,
not
that's a tough one.
exactly.
That's a tough one.
I don't really have a favorite.
That would be tough. I couldn't even answer that question. Maybe. There were some I didn't like so much. But what are your top 3? Or just say some plays that you've been in.
I guess probably number 1, I guess you could say, is Mary Poppins, because that was like my first, at least big one. Because I barely even remember it because I was like 5 and that was like 7 years ago. But
How about if there's a musical you could be in that you know of, what would it be? And don't say Hamilton. You can't pick Hamilton.
You could pick Hamilton.
Newsies would be fun.
Newsies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with that one. That's one I have.
Billy Elliot as well.
Oh,
love
Billy
to be in that.
Elliot.
Yeah, I could see that. You need to talk to some people there to get that going.
Yeah. It's that would be hard to do.
Oh, I think some people could figure it out. There's some good people over there in the Rapid City.
There's a
land.
lot of live theater in that town.
For a town that size. That's really crazy. Fine. Mexican food.
Yeah, sounds
Is there
really
a
good right
musical
now.
about? Is there a musical about Mexican food? No.
No, probably not.
I think they'll call it Feliz Navidad.
No, God.
That awful Taco John's commercial. Which ruined
That
the song for me. Yeah.
But the song is terrible. How could it ruin the song?
Oh, I
The
don't
song
know.
was
You know, every so often I have to do a gig where we have to play that song, and
Yeah.
all I can think of is at the very end that guy tacks on, and from Taco John's. You know? It's just like, oh, my eyes roll every time I'm playing it.
Well,
It
next
was
time
not.
you
No,
play
it was not a masterpiece to begin with.
no. It's very repetitive.
But you know,
Oh, well,
people like
fine.
it though. I don't know.
Well, give people what they like sometimes.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's like that and the chicken dance.
Why does no one in your family play the banjo, John? I want to know somebody that
I
plays
think
the banjo.
my dad had a thing.
Did he?
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
No. What?
It's.
I'm gonna get a banjo.
I think it's my brother Bruce's fault.
I know. I'm pretty
Because
sure.
of shakies.
My uncle Dave, which is Jen's husband, obviously. I'm pretty sure he plays the banjo. Isn't
Ooh.
that
You are correct.
really?
So Phil, false premise.
What?
Dave? Yeah.
Yeah, we do have somebody in the family that plays the banjo.
Oh, excellent! I love the banjo.
I think we're
I
going to
thought
have him on the show someday, and he's going to play it.
Oh, excellent! I thought I would have to go buy a banjo, but first I have to pay off my bathroom remodel. Fine.
Sad.
Okay. Well, Jack, what was your favorite experience growing up? Did you go sledding, or what? I mean, what was your favorite thing growing up? I don't know.
He's still growing up, Phil.
Well, he is, but he's
not done.
What was your?
Come on.
I guess I still am too. I'm growing out. But what was your favorite so far? What was your favorite thing about your childhood? That something that you look back and say, "Oh man, that was fun."
Just being in little musicals when I was younger and not, I know so many people nowadays who are like shy of going up there and stuff, and then I was just at such a young age of doing it that, it just feels natural nowadays, and I'm not shy anymore, and
No, you're very comfortable being in front of people. That's great.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
John,
very
isn't
valuable.
there some kind of no, that was where they used to live. But wasn't there some weird cave or something by where you used to live on West Boulevard over there that maybe Jack never got to that cave. I just seem to remember Schloopler or a Sloopler, some guy you knew. That was a nickname, not his real name. But there was some kind of cave over there that you went to when you were younger.
Well, that was the cave that over below Skyline Drive, you mean?
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, that was more Lee and Rob and myself that would go there. And that was the cave where our golden retriever at the time got into a fight with a porcupine.
Ooh.
And
That's not good.
Went into the cave after this thing came out with a mouthful of quills.
Oh. Was that the cave up at Hangman's Ridge or whatever they called it, up on top of there?
I don't remember it having a name, but
No.
maybe you're thinking
I
of
think
something
there was
else.
no.
This was
like
not a
when you-
very big cave. I mean, we went in one time and you had to crawl through it.
Someday, John, you and I need to go back and go to these different caves that we were at.
Okay. Well, we'll revisit that in a future episode about cave stories. There's people have something to look forward to.
All right. Well, thank you, Jack.
Yeah, Jack.
Yeah, thank you.
Great to hear you. Yeah, who's next?
Is Faith on now?
Do you want to hear the rest of the family?
Don't put Bob on.
We could make Bob come in and talk. Well, thanks for humoring my kids. You don't have to use any of that, although they probably are more interesting than I am, to be honest with you.
No, there are always gems in those bits.
You guys were talking to Jack. Bob brought me a gin and tonic.
Oh, that's
But with
great.
Pink gin.
Pink gin? What's that mean?
That's the second time
It's a-
pink gin has come up on this show.
Oh, has it? How did I miss it the first time? Or maybe I didn't.
I forgot. How did I miss
Chris
it?
mentioned it.
Okay, I forgot too.
So when we went to London last summer, the pink gin was all the rage. It was everywhere. And not only pink gin is, I think, strawberry gin, which I'm not normally a flavored alcohol fan, but gin is perfect for flavor.
Well, it's flavored anyway.
Yeah. And normally I like Hendrick's. That's my favorite gin. But
Kind of cucumber.
yeah. But pink gin is really good. They had all kinds of different flavors, and they were all delicious. And perfect for summer. Everywhere, in every pub you went into, they had different flavored gins to try. And I haven't been
Weird.
able to find most of them here. But Fever Tree tonic water.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Pink
my
gin.
favorite, I think.
What was the one you were talking about, John? That was in a can, or was that someone else talking about?
Well, you have the Q.
Tonic water in a can.
There's the Q ones.
Maybe
Those
I
are
said
good?
that one. I have a few of those.
QAnon? No. QAnon gin.
QAnon gin.
QAnon tonic.
Tonic water.
It's
With-
the blood of babies.
Oh.
I love my gin with babies. We can laugh now because Trump is leaving.
Maybe it has hydrochloroquine in it.
Well, it's a different kind of. I mean, it's like quinine.
It's the same
you know?
thing, though. Yeah, it is the
Those
same.
malaria drugs.
Tonic. Yeah, it's all good for you. Well, you want to talk about your grandma a little bit? We haven't talked about her much on here.
Before I forget, I was wondering when you guys were talking to Glenda whether any of you had actually been to. Oh God, now the name's escaping me. The place in Denver with the
Casa Bonita.
divers. Casa Bonita. Have you guys ever been
Oh,
there
yeah.
recently?
I have not
Recently,
been there
no.
recently.
No, but the last time I went there, it was really weird because I had remembered it from when I was a kid, and it seemed so much smaller. It was really strange.
That's what I was gonna say. It.
Okay, you talk.
It doesn't exactly hold up, and part of the reason it doesn't hold up is because I think they turn all the lights on.
Oh yeah, it was very dark,
Somebody-
wasn't it?
Somebody must have sued them and said like people are tripping and falling because they have all those weird like concrete walkways that are sort of uneven that are most to make it feel like you're in a cave, I think.
No, that place was magical because you'd go into a little storefront and you'd go through the turnstiles or whatever, and it would go on forever and ever and ever. It was like a TARDIS of a strip mall. But
yeah, and it doesn't. It feels smaller, and it's too bright, like because you can see everything. So all the
Yeah,
magic
you don't
is
want to
gone-
see
kinda
everything
gone.
there.
Right. You don't want to be able to look at your food.
wow,
Yeah, I went there a few years ago with a dance competition. We were in Denver and convinced some other moms to go there, and some of them had not been there before, and they were like, "What? Why?"
no, it would. Man, when I was a kid, that was just
Even a high school student, it was amazing, right? With all the glow sticks. Remember the glow sticks?
Yeah.
They had the first arcade, or it had an arcade. Not the first arcade I had ever gone to, but sure.
Times
Yeah.
were just more simple, And
But maybe it wasn't. But maybe it wasn't as
Back
brightly
when we
lit.
didn't mind those dark, uneven walkways.
Right.
It was like a cave. You were going through caverns, and gorillas were jumping out at you. And
I've been in caves and never once has a gorilla jumped out at me, but
it was really kind of scary and magical, and but the food was not that good. But you didn't know
The
any
food was
better
never
'cause-
good, but you didn't care.
Right.
Just-
No, because you were a kid.
It's
you
kind of
know,
like Chuck E.
whatever.
Cheese. in
Yeah.
that
What
way.
did
Yeah.
what, John? What did your dad eat there? I can't remember what you said. He didn't like to eat there.
No, he'd usually just seek out a burger or something like that.
Sure. He wouldn't go for their. Yeah, 'cause
Enchiladas platter.
they had unlimited enchiladas or something. I think is what I got.
I think all the food you buy is unlimited, isn't it? You just put your flag up, and they give you all
Oh,
the
so
food.
it's like a
flag, yeah.
churrascaria or whatever, Brazilian
No.
steakhouse kind of thing.
Well, I heard this year you put the flag up in your nose and it tells you if you have COVID. So it's
Oh.
kind of, yeah.
Have you guys had those nasal COVID tests? Have either of you had that?
No.
No, I haven't had any tests.
It's I tell you, it's a weird feeling, and it
Well,
doesn't hurt
I always
exactly. That's
hear
not the
people call
right
it,
feeling.
like the brain swab.
Yeah, it's just even after I got home after, I could still feel that feeling of being violated by that swab.
It's kind of an alien thing.
It was weird. I don't recommend it.
COVID.
But if you
I don't
need to get one,
recommend
go
it.
get it.
Well, I didn't have COVID, thankfully, but
Oh, good. Even in South
not yet.
Dakota.
Anyway, did you hear? I heard a stat today that 1 in 12 people in South Dakota have had COVID,
Oh,
and that's
okay.
only the people they know about. They're meanwhile telling household contacts not to get tested, that they can't get tested, that they should just assume they have it. So, don't you think that number's got to be more like 1 in 9 or 1 in 8?
Oh,
I'm sure.
God. My dad is still there. He's, I don't know, 70 something.
Is he staying
Like-
away from people?
I hope so. He does things with lumber, but I think people can stay 6 feet away with that.
Yeah.
They have these huge logs, and they make these planks.
He
Hopefully
hangs
he's-
out with
he's
the
doing-
log lady. No, sorry.
Maybe. Well, what about your grandma? I want to hear more about your grandma. And I don't know. Maybe we're getting too long here, but
I've been thinking about my grandma actually lately because,
she was quite a deal.
yeah, she would have been very, very dismayed by the Trump administration, I think. But
Oh yeah.
I've been thinking about her a lot because I have this old editorial cartoon. Have you ever seen that, Phil? That a newspaper did with my grandmother. And
I
it's,
think so, but refresh my memory.
So it's based on her work, and maybe John, you can help me recollect this properly, because I've been actually trying to look into this and not finding very much information. I would really like to be able to come up with. I know there's a newspaper article out there, something about this, but she worked on gerrymandering projects in Iowa to reverse the inordinate amount of power that rural districts in Iowa had in the state legislature. So, and the farmers were very unhappy with her. So the farmers union kind of went after her. So somebody in the editorial world of one of the Iowa papers did a cartoon of her called Mary, Mary, Quite Contrary. And it has all these farm animals kind of running, and she's opening the gate and letting all the animals out. And,
Oh my
so
God.
she was a young widower. Her husband
Wow.
passed away at 48, 49. And was the story she tells, which John can also maybe recollect the memory better than I can, but she told us a lot of her couple friends kind of rejected her after her husband died. In that era, being a widow was just not something that people embraced. So I don't
It's
know
her
whether they were
fault.
afraid they were going to steal their husbands, or if it was just awkward. But she said, my friends
might
stopped
have.
inviting me, so she just left town and
Went to the Peace
and
Corps.
joined the Peace Corps.
Went to Thailand.
And went to Thailand. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she
What-
was something
she's
else.
really. I remember that picture of her in the Jeep. I didn't know that she was in a editorial cartoon. That's wild.
Yeah, I'll take a picture of it and send it to you guys for your show notes. It's quite
I think we
interesting.
have
I
to
would
do
like
that.
to. I'd like to work with you guys, John and Rob, if you're listening, to try to find out more information about where that came from. And
Wow.
We'll have to
story
make a
behind
project
it.
out of that for sure.
Yeah.
So she went to Thailand for a while, and then what? Well, what did she do there? The Peace Corps?
She did the Peace Corps for a couple of years, John.
Yeah, something like that.
She moved back to Iowa and kind of became involved in politics, obviously.
Oh yeah.
And then she married Bill Curtis, who was her second husband, who was a very unlikely spouse to her, I feel like, because he was an ex-Navy guy with tattoos and
He
but a
did
really
like
cool
road
guy.
construction cruise
Yeah.
stuff.
yeah. And she was very intellectual, so that was an odd match. But he seemed to love her, and they got along well. So
Yeah, they were
It's all
a
good.
great couple.
It's all good. It's an odd match. Kind of like, well, I won't say. Well, we can edit this out, but your relationship with Bob, that's kind of different.
yeah,
Oh yeah, of course.
Opposites
and
attract.
the odd couple.
No, but Jody and I were pretty different at first, but
Now you're
kind
the
of-
same.
no, we're not the same. But over the years, maybe there's more commonality. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
What did your grandma do after? So after Thailand, what did she do there? I don't even know. Do you know?
John,
Well, she
can
she
edit
got into
we can
politics, and I know she
can
was
edit this
active. Her job was working with the teachers' unions in Iowa.
in Thailand. Oh, I think
No,
he's
I'm
talking
sorry.
about in Thailand.
I thought after she came back, I
No,
don't know a
I
lot
was-
about what she did in the Peace Corps. Maybe
She
Deborah
never talked
Kay
about
will
it.
have to help us out with that.
She never talked about it.
Well, maybe she did. I was I was really young.
What happened in Thailand stays in Thailand.
I know she talked about how there were snakes under her hut and stuff like that.
I don't know. She was really amazing. Both my grandmas were really cool too. We can talk about them in another episode. But
On our grandparents episode.
the grandmothers episode.
Did you want Bob to say hi?
Bob,
Bob, put Bob on.
is he around?
Okay,
Is he
hold on.
around?
Yeah, hold on.
I don't think Bob's gonna show up.
No, I think he's shy. It's because I'm drinking Irish whiskey.
Oh, I've had one too many of the Jim Beams, but fine.
Jim Beam Quadra Oak.
Beam me up, Scotty. Jim, beam me up. Why didn't Captain Kirk? He didn't drink whiskey. I think.
No, one time he walked into Dr. McCoy's office and demanded brandy.
Brandy.
Yeah, he screamed, "Give me the brandy!"
Weird.
He did.
I mean, McCoy drank.
Brandy.
Yeah.
Why are
Oh,
these
my
crazy
goodness.
American names so like Randy and Brandy? I've never heard of Randy or Brandy till I moved here.
People just love
I mean,
their alcohol.
Randy meant something completely different. Brandy was like an alcoholic drink, but not as a freaking name, guys. What is it?
It's
Hey, it
messed
wasn't
up.
my fault. It wasn't my fault.
I'm
Bob.
just asking a question, John and Phil.
No,
Randy
there's,
and
there's,
Brandy,
we don't have people don't name their kids vodka.
or Chad and like Chase and like
Live and uncensored.
What's your favorite name?
George.
It's a good, solid name.
King
George.
George the
King
Third.
George.
It's kind of boring.
Oh, really? And you think like Ryder and like Chase and like Jace is like okay. Jace, what is Jace? What does that mean?
What are you chasing?
No, Jace,
sorry.
Jace.
Is it Jace or JC?
Bob is all kind of Robert. Is a.
Do you know
is a
hey Phil? The only
generic name.
the only person that called me Robert ever And honestly, like throughout my childhood and until she died, God bless her, was my dear mother. Like, and she called me she used to call me Bobby, which made me sound like a freaking cat. Hey Bobby, come on. Until she was pissed with me, and it's like, Robert, get your ass in here now.
Serious now. Yeah.
So when they call you by your full name, guys, it was always like, this is time to come home. Hang
Shit
your
is
head
getting
and,
real now.
Shit is getting real now, mate. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Anyway, hey, listen, guys. I'm not sure what this is all about, but I love you both. Great to listen. Great to speak to you both. Seriously,
yes,
mate.
Good
all
to
right?
hear you, Bob.
And John, Phil, I don't know when we're going to fricking do it, guys, but I can't wait for us all to get together again, So
Likewise.
God bless. Stay safe. Stay healthy, okay?
Yeah, you too, Bob. Good to see you. Or hear you.
Stay horny. Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. Jeez.
I guess that's it.
How can we aren't going to top that?
I don't know what's going on the other side of that, but oh my god. So is that going to be what, Jace? What kind of name is Jace? Who calls their kid?
It's gold material there.
So this guy Jace, who will hopefully never hear this podcast, he's
there's a guy named that.
He's hanging out with he's dating one of our friends, and he's hanging out with somebody in the kitchen and talking to Bob, and there was this guy Barry, and Jace says to Bob, besides Barry, who names a kid Barry?
No.
Oh no. Wrong
and Corey
answer.
was like, Bob.
Okay, don't say that.
So there you go.
No.
Who names a kid Barry? Bob.
Who names a kid Paul?
Right.
Paul. It's appalling.
Mr. and Mrs. Manilow might take exception to that.
Oh, what? Is that the thing?
Oh, Megan, thank you very much for being on the show.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
This was a blast.
All
right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Here's the song.
Stuck in the middle of fight. How'd you make it out alive? You said you wanted a song for you, but will you still want it when it's through? Making poopy for you.